Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. My name is Ozzy. I'm Alexa Developer Evangelist from ANZ, and today I have Joe from Seattle who join us.
Hello.
Cool. What we want to talk about today is Alexa GameOn, how to create engaging game Alexa experiences. So we're going to begin. One of the cool things I like to do with my friends is to invite them for a game night. So in game night, everyone loves a good game. We are playing, we are having fun, and we are bragging about the cool things we've done in our week. I usually try to host like the game night with Alexa. My favorite game is When in Rome, which reminds me I need to mute this guy.
Sorry, I don't know that.
So
Alexa's muted now.
Cool, all good. So my favorite game is When in Rome. It's hosting the game. It's really fun. People like to play with games that are purely by voice. So now imagine the same setup, but you build the game yourself, and now you're bragging about it, and everyone is having a good time. And actually, it's not that hard to build a Alexa game. The heavy lifting is done by Alexa platform, and you just need to have a very, very good idea to start with. So coming up with a good idea is the hardest part. The rest of it is building a skill, and we have lots of contents around it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. So in this, in this video, what we want to cover is showcasing so many different scenarios for people to get a good idea of where to begin.
All the different kinds of Alexa games you can build.
Exactly. So voice has always been in the game. What happens next is up to you. And what I mean by that is, like, even the games that they have visuals, is still sound is a very important part of the game. Like, for example, if I'm playing with like a horror type of games, the sounds should be really good quality to set the perceptions. They should be scary, and that's very important to provide a quality game. Now we have a platform that is purely by sound, like people are interacting purely by that, and the quality of that is very important. So we should spend lots of time to come up with quality assets for voice and building it really engaging and nice.
Yes, even if your game has a multimodal component with visuals on the screen or with a board game, it's still voice first. The audio still matters a lot.
Exactly. So I don't know about you, Joe, but the first skill I played, the voice game I played, was Magic Door. And it was pretty funny and interesting in some sense for me, which I'm going to explain. But before that, let's just play the game for us to get a sense of what it is. Alexa, open Magic Door.
Welcome back to the Dark Forest adventure.
Okay, let's go. It's getting creepier.
Ooh.
Stay close to me. We need to make it out of these woods fast. Suddenly, a hairy, wrinkly, scruffy man pops out of the forest in front of us.
Hey, you. Yeah, you too. I've been watching you too.
Oh no.
You're still looking for the wimpy weak wizard, aren't you? Well, I've seen him. Yeah, that's
Wimpy
right.
weak wizard.
He's not doing so well, you know. He came limping on this path not too long ago. I think the witch got him. And now he's desperate, coming to these dark woods, hobbling to the witch's mansion. Maybe looking for potion he thinks will cure him. Good luck, I say. In no time, the witch will return here, and when she does, she'll put that wizard out of his misery.
I'm not sure this strange man knows what he's talking about.
Well, go now. Go and fetch your feeble friend.
Alexa,
The man then walks back and...
stop.
Okay, goodbye. To find...
Stop. So I actually wanted to see what comes next in the story, but when I played with the game, when we started the game, there was a sound of a magic door. And it was pretty fascinating. Like when I played with the game, I was imagining how the door looks like when I was walking on the grass, what's the location that I'm walking in. So it kind of opens up imagination. It's not like that I'm seeing the visual at the same time. I have to like imagine myself, and that's fascinating for me.
It's this game is more kind of like reading a book than playing, you know, a big AAA RPG kind of game.
Exactly.
Your imagination really comes into it.
Exactly. And the games doesn't have to necessarily be so complex to be engaging. Like for example, this game is called Bomb Squad. So one of the in New Zealand, a skill builder created this one, and it's just playing with the numbers. You have to remember a sequence of numbers, and that's pretty much it.
We're gonna play it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Alexa, open Bomb Squad.
This is Simon's Bomb Squad.
Okay.
Choose one of the following. Start new game. Versus mode. Elimination mode.
Versus mode. Alexa, versus mode.
How many players?
2.
Time for a game, Bomb
This was
Squad.
fun at Voice Summit when we had a lot of people come and play.
Exactly.
Sequence within a short time frame. If you can get the sequence right, you will pass the bomb to the next player, and the sequence will grow. If you make a mistake, the bomb will explode, and the game
player one?
ends.
All right.
Player 1, get ready. 9, 3, 3.
Oh, 9, 3, 3.
Player 2, get ready. 9, 3, 3, 8.
9, 3, 3, 8.
Player 1, get ready. 9, 3, 3, 8, 9.
9, 3, 3, 8, 9.
Player 2, get ready. 9, 3, 3, 8, 9, 5.
9, 3, 3, 8, 9, 5.
Player 1,
keep
get
that
ready.
forever.
9, 3, 3, 8, 9, 5, 1.
9, 8, 3, 3, 8, 5, 1. Oh no!
Player 1, you lost.
Thank
Would you
you.
like to play again?
No.
This is Simon's Bomb Squad.
Quit.
Choose one of the following.
Quit.
Yeah, so the game was pretty simple, but it was very engaging. We typically run this in our events, and there are lots of audiences and probably 10 different players in there, and it can get really exciting.
Yeah, and in both of those cases, the developers mixed in high quality audio along with using Alexa's voice to kind of guide the player through.
Exactly. And there are different type of games that people can think of.
Yeah, so voice first game, we played a couple of those. Some other ones, Jeopardy, which you might be familiar with, or Yes Sire. And in Yes Sire, so Jeopardy being a trivia game, it suits Alexa pretty well to have trivia games. Yes Sire is a game where you're kind of navigating life through yes or no questions as a prince in a castle. And you have to balance out your resources, so you either gain fame, gain wealth, or lose wealth on each of your choices.
So
and
it's a balancing game. Yeah.
But I think it's pretty fun because it also uses nice sounds along with everything. So all of these voice first games, this might be what you originally think of when you're thinking of Alexa games, but there's other kind of games as well. So voice paired games. This is the board from When in Rome, So Ozzy, you talked about this earlier today. You host games on this.
Yeah.
Well, When in Rome is a trivia game, and it will actually use sounds. It'll use the accent of different areas in the world. So you as the player are traveling to all these different areas, and someone from that area asks you a trivia question.
Exactly.
You learn a little bit about the culture, and you compete against your friends. And Alexa's kind of driving the entire game. So Alexa will make random loot appear in various places and kind of change up the game, throw in a little bit of randomness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a really fun game.
And Saint Noire, this is one I just learned about. We played it on the first Let's Play on stream, and it was super fun. Really high quality audio, good humor. It was for mature audiences only, but that was a really fun game where you're essentially trying to find the murderer in a town, and there are a variety of weapons and a variety of locations, and you are actually examining witnesses through Alexa, asking them where they were and who was around them, and you're trying to find people who are lying. And the characters can lie and still be innocent, or they could be lying and trying to cover up the fact that they're a murderer. You only have 7 days to find this. You can only do a few actions a day. So the art assets in the physical game are pretty good as well. Yeah. And then the other class of games are cross-device games. So these are going to use some of the Alexa gadgets. So one of the gadgets that's really applicable to game developers is the Echo button.
Yep.
Yeah. So Bandit buttons. Do you want to tell us about that?
So Bandit button is a very fun game that uses Echo button. Echo buttons are these small devices. It's a round shape, and then it changes the color you can push on the device.
Developers get full access over the colors, and interacting through that, you can kind of offload the voice.
Exactly, still hearing the voice, but then you have this extra channel to interact with the skill as well, which
tactile.
And it's pretty fun. It's a game like every player has a button in front of them. Whoever that is quicker to do something can win it. So you can just have different mechanism to make it more engaging.
Nice. And then voice assistant games. So this is where the voice isn't the game. It's not the main mechanic that you're playing the game through, but rather something that supplements the game. I think we have a video of Call of Duty.
Alexa, ask Call of Duty. How'd I do last match?
Let me break it down for you. You got clobbered. You were in last place on your team, and you collected a score of 25.
Okay, how do I improve my skills?
Use a grip to reduce recoil and help improve accuracy. Try Hustle for your basic training perk, and arm yourself with a lethal like a satchel charge.
Got it. What division should I use?
Now you're asking the right question, soldier. The ideal division for you is airborne.
Copy that. I'm going in.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so here it's not really it's a supplement to the game itself, right? You can use it as a repository of knowledge or something like that. I think that this whole area can use even more exploring, right? What if you could change your weapon from voice through Alexa? That'd be cool.
Exactly. And these are only a few categories that we talked about here. Voice is new, so nothing stops people of being creative and add a new category that no one has thought about it.
Yeah.
So we talked about a few different games, so you guys should have a good understanding of what a voice game means. But what are the ways to supercharge our voice game? So that's the topic that we are going to explore. So the first thing that is important is to adding variety to your skills. So you can, we talked about quality of voice. It's really important. So we have Alexa voice, which is pretty simple. You provide the text, it do text to speech and read it out. But to have engaging sounds, we can do better. Like we can add more layers to make it more engaging. So the first thing we can use is SSML. What is SSML? It's a speech synthesized markup language. It allows you to put some tags around your text to change so many things. You can change the tone, volume. You can ask Alexa to whisper and do so many other cool things.
You can change the voice to any of the poly voices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's so many tags that you can add and make it interesting. We also have a speech cons. The speech cons are phrases and expressions that we pronounce differently based on our culture. For example, if we are in Australia, instead of hi, we say good day. So that's the way that we want Alexa to like say hi.
Is that a speech con?
It is.
Yeah, that's cool.
So when people want to create experiences for different locales, they can search speech cons, the name of the country. There's so many different cool things that they can choose, and that kind of add another layer to their skills. And they definitely can have their own recorded sounds. Like in the Magic Door, we had the door sound, which was pretty engaging. So you can just record your sound and then add it to Alexa's skill.
And what I liked about some of these games we played is they'll layer the sound with the voice. And I think that makes for a really nice effect.
Exactly. So how to use some of these tags. So what we are seeing here is using some of the SSML tags. So here I'm using the voice and lang to give the voice some sort of characters. So probably you guys are familiar with AWS Poly Service. So in there you can provide your text. You can choose between about, I think, 27 different voice characters, male and female, with different accents. Mm-hmm. And what I used to do is to provide the text, select these voice like characters, and then download the voice, provide it in a S3 bucket, and use it in my skill. But the cool thing about these two tags, voice and lang, is you no longer have to do it. You can directly define what voice character is of my interest. Here we can see that I've chosen Celine because I wanted to have a French accent. And then you can just say which language you wanted to like interpret the phrases that is provided within it. Like, I'm not French, so probably you would say bienvenue in French, but this is a French phrase, so that's why I'm using lang of French. So, and you can create really interesting voice characters through there. So let's go through a sample. Like a few months back, we did run a hackathon in Auckland, and there were this team, they were pretty creative. So the skill they wanted to create was saving Shiraz. So someone kidnapped Shiraz, and our goal is to save that person. So they started with, when you're opening the skill, it was saying, we have Shiraz, you have 3 minutes to find him at the abandoned warehouse. If you contact the police, we will kill him. So, not a bad start, that's good. But if you just provide the text, I don't know if it is going to be as engaging as we want it to be. So instead of me talking through it, let me just copy this and show you guys how it would sound like in an actual skill. So let us go back here. So where I am is a developer console. This is where I build a skill. In the test tab at the end, there is a section which is called voice and tone. Here is where I test whatever I have, whatever asset I have, before providing it in my skill.
Helps speed up your development cycle pretty nicely.
Exactly. So here we see like a sample of using an SSML. So this is a whisper tag. I think it's fun to just play that.
I want to tell you a secret. I am not a real human. Can you believe it?
So I pasted saving Shiraz and see how it sounds like.
We have Shiraz. You have 3 minutes to find him at the abandoned warehouse. If you contact the police, we kill him.
Do you feel the urge to save Shiraz by this calm sound?
It's a little funny hearing that from Alexa's voice.
Yeah.
doesn't really suit Alexa's personality to be a murderer.
Exactly, exactly. So let's change it and see how we can improve it. So the next version these people did in the hackathon was to use the voice and lang tag, which I explained earlier. So let me just make it bigger to show you guys what we are doing. So we are choosing a voice character. It's a male like character. I've chosen Hans, and you can choose any type of accent to the English phrases that we have. So I randomly picked this German accent to see how it sounds like. So you just need to play with different one of them and see what's the character that you want to present in your skill, and does it represent that? So with that change, let's go here and see how it sounds like. Okay.
You have Shiraz. You have 3 minutes to find him at the abandoned warehouse. If you contact the police, we kill him.
Not bad, not bad. Better than
It
it's
sounds
really
better
soft. Yeah,
not being Alexa,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. But it still, I think we can do better. And the next level that we can improve it is using recorded sound. So what we did with this group, we just had a very cheap sound recorder. So it was about $60. We went to like a quiet room and we started recording their voice. So what happens when you record your voice? You can place it in a S3 bucket. It provides you with a unique URL. You can use the audio tag to now present that. There are some audio requirements. The length of it should be 240 seconds.
Is it the maximum?
It's the maximum, exactly. You can have 5 audio files in a queue. The bit rate and sampling rate should have these characteristics, and it can be a stereotype. So we did record a few sounds. We used one of these free softwares and added a bunch of filters, and this was the result.
We have Shiraz. You have 3 minutes to find him at the abandoned warehouse. If you contact the police, we'll kill him.
Yeah.
That sounds much better.
That sounds much better. And I feel bad, like we are teaching people how to create like scary sounds, but it depends on the character that you want to represent. Like when you're designing a game, you're probably going to define the characters of the players in the game and think about it before starting the game, and the sound is an important part. If you notice, there was a sound of the telephone or just
it really adds a lot.
Exactly.
Just in general, having all the layered audio along with the voice really puts you more in an imaginative state.
Exactly. So the message here was just use all of these mediums to create engaging sounds, and it can make a difference for your skill. Sorry for that. So the next thing that can make a skill engaging is the social element. Like, I'm in my home, I want to play a game, I want to play with someone, but no one is around. So I like Song Quiz. It connects you with people randomly around the globe, and just you play with each other. Do you want to play it?
Let's play.
Yeah.
Alexa, open Song Quiz.
Welcome back to Song Quiz. How many people want to play Song Quiz?
1.
What is your first name?
Ozzy.
Where are you from?
Sydney.
Choose a music decade.
90s.
Searching for an opponent. Your opponent is Michael Jordan from Chicago Bulls.
Ooh.
The Michael Jordan.
The Michael Jordan.
Question 1 of 7 for 10 points. After the music stops, name the song title and artist.
Whitney Houston.
What song? Don't Make Me Cry by Whitney Houston.
Yay!
You got the artist for 10 points.
Oh.
The song was I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Michael Jordan answered incorrectly.
Yay.
Your score is 10 and Michael Jordan's score is 0. Question 2, for 10 points. Name the song title and artist.
I was raised by the chef, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching.
Repeat.
I was raised by
I
the chef, so I gotta
know the song, but I don't know.
too much television watching.
Television.
Sorry, I'm not sure I heard you correctly. Guess again. Oh, brother.
Oh.
The song was Gangsta's Paradise by
Oh.
Julio. Michael Jordan answered correctly. You and Michael Jordan are tied with 10 points.
Alexa,
Question
Julio.
3.
stop.
Did you know you can unlock 5?
Stop.
I think Michael Jordan was going to beat us.
Yeah.
And adding in that social element, you know, we're hardwired to just be competitive against
yeah.
each other. So
Exactly.
Giving someone to play against
It-
is always fun.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And leaderboard, when you are like competing against like, other people or just probably even yourself, like you want to beat the scores that you had previously, it's more engaging. So you can definitely add leaderboards and show where you are in compared to the other people.
Yeah, and we actually just came out with an SDK for it, which I think we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
But this is a screenshot from WordWord. This game, it's really just a very simple game. You're presented with a word. You have to say it as many times as you can without taking a breath. As soon as you take a breath, it's over. And that high score is put up in a leaderboard, along with all of these fantastic named
And icons.
random
Yeah.
icons, random names.
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
And leveling in the game.
Yeah, it's really important to make sure that you don't pit players against the best in the world, right? That's never fun.
Yeah.
And you want to teach them how to play the game. So if you have something more complex, it's always good to walk them through a tutorial or to walk them through easier levels so they can get the hang of it.
And then move on to the like more advanced. Yeah.
Exactly. And if your game is targeting children, you might want to make it easier, whereas for adults, they might want to have some more progression. Challenging your players will keep them coming back.
Exactly.
Yeah. They won't be as bored.
Exactly. And memory.
Yeah, all skills, all good skills have memory,
Yeah.
right? Both long-term and short-term memory, just like humans.
Exactly. Like you want to remember things. In a game, you probably want to remember the scores. You want to remember how much they progress through the game.
Mhm.
If I went halfway through the magic door, I don't want to start from the beginning. I want to play from where I left off the last time. So it's
Yes.
very important to
Yeah.
remember that and provide a nice user experience. So the skill we are looking here is Panda Rescue. It's a game that is directed towards kids. You have a baby panda and you're trying to raise it, and you little bit by little bit you progress through the different stages of life. And imagine I'm a kid, I have a few minutes to play and I have to go to my school. So I play with it, and then the game needs to remember it so that when I'm back from the school and I want to continue, it just plays from that part. So it's very important to have a memory.
And yeah, so like we were talking about a little bit, long-term versus short-term. So there's two ways to remember things in your Alexa skill. So session attributes, this is just within that current session. So when
Yep.
someone says, open my skill,
Yeah.
you get to store this along the wire in between you and the Alexa voice service.
Yep.
And as soon as the skill session is done, they're gone.
Exactly.
It's wiped away.
Yep.
And you can just store any kind of arbitrary data in here. Now, persistent attributes, the SDK has a wrapper to work with a couple of different persistent attribute stores. You can use S3, DynamoDB,
Yeah.
or your own. And think of this as what is going to last beyond your skill session. So
Exactly.
where your panda is in its life, or where you are in the quest for the magic door.
Exactly, exactly. And like to show you guys a little bit how easy it is to use persistent. This is a very simple skill that I created myself. So it's the skill, when you open it, it asks for your name. It's going to remember the name and use it later on, just to say welcome back, Ozzy, or to say goodbye, Ozzy. For each utterance that I'm providing, in the model, you say that which intent it should map to. Then Alexa do the mapping and send it to your backend code. So this is my backend code, and for each one of the things that I want to handle, I have a handler. In the so here I'm saying that if you are grabbing the names, like if someone is saying my name is Ozzy or I am Ozzy, grab it and handle it. So in the handle, what I'm doing in this line is to just grab the name, and I'm grabbing the value, but I want to persist it. So how should I do that? So again, I'm using Node.js SDK version 2. All I'm doing is to grabbing the session attributes. So through the attribute manager. So I have it available. I have the attributes available. I would say I want a new key value pair to add it to whatever list you already have. So I'll add it here, and then I set it back to the session attributes. As easy as that.
Yeah, so that'll keep it within that session.
Exactly. And now if I want to persist it in a database, it's again easy. So I just need to add this few lines. I'm setting this time the persistent attribute with the same attributes that I had before, and I would say save it to persistent attributes.
Now note that this save is going to take a little bit of time.
Yep.
It's not immediate.
Exactly.
And depending on what your backend is, that can take more or less time.
Yeah.
So that's one of the benefits to using session attributes, is that it is quick, but it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You might even want to, if it's something you're accessing a lot or frequently, or even if you're accessing it in the can handle method, or multiple places, you might want to load from persistent into session and then use session.
Exactly, exactly. And people might ask, where is the database? We didn't create anything. And the beauty of it is that if you're using the SDK, you can just add these two lines at the end. So I'm just saying that with table name, so this is the name of my table in a constant, and with auto create table to be true. So when it launched the skill, if the table is not there, it creates it on my behalf, and then as easy as. So let's go back to our slides. The next thing is cross-device integration. We talked about bandit buttons. There are a few things to talk about further about echo buttons. So when I talk to Alexa skill, when it asks me a question, I have 8 seconds to respond. If I don't provide any answer, it's going to give me another 8 seconds. And if I don't provide the answer, I'm probably not interested, I'm probably not engaged, and that's why it ends the session. So sometimes for the games, you want to have more than 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, like especially the ones that needs collaboration, you want to talk with your teammates and then come up with some sort of answers. So for that, echo buttons is a good gadget to use. I can have an echo button and provide another input channel to it. And I can have event to say, wait for 30 seconds for a button click to happen. So I'm just extended that 8 second session. Now I have both channels to deal with. If I'm not interested in the voice channel, while I'm waiting for someone pressing the button, I can say disable the microphone. And making money. Everyone likes to earn money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And with in-skill purchasing, you can charge for subscriptions, you can charge for one-time purchases, or for consumables.
Exactly. Like one-time purchase is you purchase something once and you use it as much as you like. For example, I might be purchasing a level of the game.
And you're always going to have that level for that skill.
Exactly. For subscription, it should be something that keeps changing in a subscription model. Like, let's say I have a trivia game and the questions keep changing every month. So that makes sense to subscribe for it and use it every month.
And then consumables, you could also structure your trivia game a little differently by maybe buying hints.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can buy a pack of hints and spend those, and then they're gone.
Exactly. So you buy them and consume it in the skill. So that's the reason we call it consumable. And it's really easy to integrate it with skill. What you're seeing here is some lines are in orange, some lines are in blue. The ones in orange are the ones that developers should define for whatever they are trying to sell. So what we see here is an upskill message. At some point of the game, I provide the upskill. Here it's saying, you don't currently have access to our science pack. Would you want me to tell you more about it? So this is a message that I want to surface. They can say yes. If they say yes, I provide whatever the description is. That's the part that is in orange.
And the rest of it, the what's in blue, this is actually Alexa itself is saying it.
Exactly.
So this is not defined by the developer.
Exactly.
And note that the price is not really, you define a price, but Alexa chooses what it's going to be sold for. It could be less.
Yeah, and it can provide some discounts, which is taken from the Amazon side, but then you just provide the total price and the description, and Alexa do a good job of surfacing that. So when you ask the question, would you like to buy it? They can say yes, they can say no. If they say yes, you can say great, you now have whatever the product is, and then you nicely transition them to be using whatever they purchased.
Yeah, so for each of these events, your skill is going to get a callback from the actual Alexa monetization service on whether or not it was successful or failure to sell the product.
Yeah. And like what if they say no, we don't want to say because you didn't purchase this thing.
Bye. No, that's a bad experience.
Yeah, you want them to be continuing using whatever they had available before that. So this is very important when you provide the upsell message, what to do when they say yes or no. So make sure you have a nice strategy.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a couple of different ways that we can do some of these things.
Yep.
So for leaderboards, we just came out with the GameOn SDK for Node, and it's free if you can sign up now.
Yep.
During the beta period.
Exactly.
At this address, Alexa Design GameOn Launch, you'll find the blog post where you can do that.
Yeah.
And what it lets you do is pretty quickly add a leaderboard into your skill, as well as any other kind of competitions. So GameOn is a service available in all AWS regions, and it allows management of competitions.
Exactly, like the same way that we provided means into into the SDK to use the DynamoDB that easily. So this is for the GameOn, so you can easily consume the service, have a leaderboard, and use it. So it's
it is a little heavier than that.
Yeah.
Because there's some configuration you need to do in the GameOn console, and then, but it actually comes with some helpers as well. So some of those funny names. That's all done by the SDK if you want to choose to use that, as well as the APL document, which renders that leaderboard. And you can bring your own brand into that.
Very good. And this is a sample, like we talked about WordWord, and they're using GameOn SDK for Node.
So if you want a different kind of background, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
And another tool that just came out is the Skill Flow Builder.
Yeah.
So this is both an editor and a core build system, which will create Node.js game skills.
Yep.
And it's really good for larger teams who have kind of separate editorial content teams from the engineering team.
Yep.
So as an engineer, you can produce all kinds of custom plugins for this to do whatever it is that you need to do in your game, talk to your services and whatnot. And then there is this scripting language which you can use to actually define various scenes.
Yep.
You can say what is said there, what the transitions are between these different groups. And it's really useful for things like choose your own adventure or
adventure
interactive stories, where it is a flow.
Yeah.
So that's where it's primarily useful.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's different views depending on what your role is. So you can even just edit the content directly in there.
Exactly. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Joe, for joining us for this session.
Yeah, this has been fun.
Cool.
Yeah, come tweet at us on Twitter and tell us about what cool games you're building. I'm always in to play some interesting games.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.